This is my 20-gallon planted tank, and it's been running for about a month now. Today I'm refining it by increasing plant density and softening some of the hardscape. Today I'll be adding Monte Carlo, Rotala rotundifolia, some Christmas moss, some weeping moss, a red tiger lotus, Rotala atra, Alternathera reynicki, Ludwigia pilastris. Before going into the tank, each plant gets a quick rinse. I'm using a light hydrogen peroxide dip to reduce the chance of introducing algae or hitchhikers. After the peroxide, a quick rinse in the sink, and then a conditioned rinse before planting. Keeping inputs controlled keeps the system predictable. To make planting easier and more precise, I like to lower the water level. This reduces the likelihood of stem plants from floating and allows for precise placement. I'm taking these driftwood arches out because they're going to get some moss added to them later on. This Ludwigia repens I planted a few weeks ago has grown a lot and gotten just a little leggy. So I'm trimming it back to encourage a bushier and fuller growth. Rather than discarding the tops, I'm actually going to hold on to them and replant them. Starting with the foreground, I'm going to put some root tabs here where I'm putting that extra Monte Carlo. I planted some Monte Carlo a couple weeks ago and it's not doing as well as I'd like it to, so I'm hoping adding some root tabs will help it out. Relocating this little patch of Monte Carlo to make room for my red tiger lotus. Adding another root tab for my red tiger lotus. Now while I do have fluval stratum in this tank, I do like to put root tabs to give my heavy root feeders every little bit of help. Adding in some more Monte Carlo plugs. Trimming these slightly longer pieces is hopefully going to encourage a more carpeting horizontal growth than vertical growth. Now for the background plants. Putting those tops that I trimmed off my Ludwigia repens earlier. Replanting trimmed tops is a great way to increase fullness while not having to buy more plants, because as we all know, aquarium plants are not cheap. My goal with this background is to have somewhat of a gradient going on. So I've got my repens on the left, I've got my Ludwigia super red in the middle, transitioning over to the Rotala atra, and then just in front of that atra is where I'm going to put my Rotala rotundifolia orange juice. So I'm hoping to have a nice gradient from, a greenish amber red to a bright red, some pinks over to the atra, and then some nice oranges coming down the front. More root tabs for my Alternathera reynicki. My goal with this Alternatheria is to really bring some of that red color from the background into more of the foreground, really to try and draw everything together. I'm adding some weeping moss to my driftwood arches to not only soften the hardscape, but also add some dimension. Now, I initially attempted to do this with thread, but realized super glue was a much better choice for what I was trying to do. Also adding some weeping moss to my tree stump, again to help kind of fill in the gaps between the anubias that are on here, and also to just create some dimension with weeping moss because of its downward growth. So I'm really hoping that this grows down to cover the entire tree stump over time. Using some Christmas moss to fill in some gaps in some of the stones. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all grows in over the next few weeks. Thanks for watching.